Observational learning is the process of learning by watching the behaviors of others. Targeted behavior is watched, memorized, and then mimicked. You can employ the same strategy in video games by observing players with a higher skill, enabling you to mimic and adopt their techniques. I use this technique while watching high-level streamers to replicate the plays, teamfights, and comps. I enjoy watching Kingsman for dive, Boger, and Big Puffer for tanking, and Beaming Bandit for strategist. I have progressed from acting dumb and fumbling everything and not being able to think straight when things happen to being able to replicate the combos, the moves, and the pressure that the streamers apply themselves. I've used this technique in the past, and you probably have too, without even realizing it. I used to bowl a lot. There's a free summer program that my bowling alley in my town put on that my mom constantly took me to. She's like, watch others, watch what they're doing. And so I went from constantly low scores to getting like a strike every single time. To learn, people need to watch their surroundings. How much they pay attention can change depending on who they're learning from and where they're learning from. When it comes to observational learning, there are various factors that influence the extent to which individuals pay attention to the behaviors of others. One of these factors is the degree of similarity between the model and the observer. People are more likely to pay attention to individuals who they perceive as similar to themselves in some way. This could be terms of status, talent, and intelligence, or any other characteristics that the observer finds relatable. Additionally, the observer's current mood can also affect their level of attention. If someone is in a positive mood or feeling motivated, they may be more inclined to focus and pay closer attention to the actions of others. On the other hand, if someone is in a negative mood or feeling distracted, their attention may be diminished. Attention alone is not sufficient to learn a new behavior. Observers must also retain or remember the behavior for later. To enhance retention, observers can organize the information in a manner that is easy to remember. I either clip the moment if it's on a Twitch stream, or if it's on video, I replay it over and over while I memorize what happened in the clip for the outcome to happen. That means slow down the speed, watch what happens. Also for guides, I physically write in notebooks my notes from character guides, because writing it down on paper makes it become a memory rather than something you've just typed. I have Venom notes from a year ago that are still ingrained in my head that helped me with my diving on Rogue, my pressure on Rogue, and my pressure on Spider-Man, all that stuff. Once you've remembered or stored information about a behavior, the next step is being able to actually do it in the real world or in a game. This often means you might need to practice the new behavior for many hours to get the skills and abilities required to perform it successfully. Going into the range and beating up bots for 30 minutes before a game while you repeat what was done in the clip/highlight every day will help. These are called drills, and I have a video planned for that later. Finally, all learning requires to some extent personal motivation. Thus, in observational learning, an observer must be motivated to produce the desired behavior. So take a character you really like. That may be their kit or the character themselves, and you really want to get good at them. Use that motivation. I wanted to play Spider-Man. I watched Spider-Man players. I learned Spider-Man because Spider-Man is one of my favorite all-time Marvel characters. I love Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I love Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I love animated Spider-Man. I use that motivation. This motivation can be either intrinsic or extrinsic to the observer. In the latter case, motivation comes from the form of rewards. Getting Lord Icon for your favorite characters is very rewarding. How do I use this and how do I apply this? Watch pro players. Watch high-level players, especially those who excel with the same heroes you use. Know their positioning, decision-making, and mechanical skills. Pay attention to how they engage in fights, use abilities, and move around the map. Try to understand the reasoning behind their choices. See the value it brings them and their team. Implement the tactics and strats you observe to your own gameplay. Start replicating specific moves or decisions in similar situations. Review your own gameplay. If you want your team comms, like you play ranked a lot, you can record or do like a unlisted YouTube stream where only you can see, and it'll be up on YouTube for as long as your channel exists. But luckily, if you're just looking to improve your gameplay, we have a very good replay system in this game, and me and my friends use this replay system a lot to go, okay, this is how we applied the most pressure, and this is how we lost that fight. After watching your matches, compare your decisions with those of the pros in similar situations. Identify what they did differently and why it worked. Look for reoccurring mistakes or missed opportunities in your gameplay. Observational learning is about recognizing patterns and adjusting your behavior accordingly. Join communities and discuss strats. Focus on specific skills. Watch how top players use their aim and hero, especially in intense firefights. Try to incorporate their techniques to your practice routines. When watching people that play the same heroes as you do, pay attention to the way and time and a fight of how they use their abilities. Watch competitive tourneys and events. Watch Marvel Rivals Championship, rank streams, and streamers. The strats used in high stakes environments can be especially useful. Observe how teams coordinate, rotate, and communicate. Team dynamics and decision making under pressure are critical aspects that can be learned from watching competitive play. Practice what you observe. After observing a specific tactic, try to apply it in your next few matches. For example, if you notice that a pro player is playing a technique, try to mimic that in your games. Observational learning is the most effective when combined with practice. Repeat the strats and techniques you've learned until they become second nature.